Hello, I got 5 books back from CGC, and these are all themed, if the shirt is not giving it away already, Nintendo. So I've got some Zelda, I've got some Super Mario. I think the Mario is actually the last one in these series. I thought this one was, but I do have one more last one that was in this submission that I forgot about. But I also have a handful of Zelda books. Not just one, which I have. I think there actually is a 1 in here, and I think there's 2, 4, and 5. I think I'm missing 3. It didn't come with the bundle that I bought, but I got a really good deal on those books because the Zelda, number 1 in this box here, was extremely high grade. The other ones had some flaws, but we're going to learn something from those flaws because, honestly, I'm not very good at grading these books because this is a different type of stock. It's like a different type of paper. And it's very hard to get defects. In fact, it's almost impossible to completely get defects out of this type of paper. Once there's any kind of slight bending or creasing, it's just there. You can clean it up and that's about it. So I'm curious to see if my guesses on the grades are going to be accurate for the books in this submission right here. So let's see what's inside and get going with this unboxing. Okay, so let's get started with Super Mario number 1. Now this is Adventures of Super Mario. It's not the original. This is a reprint that came a year later, but it still has value. And of course, as we go through this video, I'll put what I paid for these books as well as what the approximate fair market value is based on the grades we get. So I thought this one was a 6.0 when I got it. A lot of these books were very soiled and rough. This was one of the rougher of the bunch, but it had good bones, and I was able to, I thought, get it up to as high as a 9.2. So to go from a 6.0 mid-grade book to anywhere 8.5 or above would be amazing on this book. So let's see what CGC gave us on this book. We got our 9.2. So now that's our second 9.2 that we got on Adventures of Super Mario. And definitely keeping one of these probably and selling all of the other ones. And hopefully that means my grading is getting a little bit better on these books because I've nailed the last couple that I graded on from this type of cardstock. Now the Zeldas are a little bit different though. This is actually a different paper on these two. They look similar, but when you get them, the Zeldas are a lot more substantial. They're like a thicker cardstock or whatever you call it. So it is not forgiving when you crinkle or bend these books. It causes pretty much permanent damage. I don't know of a way to get it out. I tried all the tricks of the trade, and I was not able to get all of the defects out. Some of the defects on here were tears and things like that. Now, this is Zelda number 5. We're going to work our way backwards. I thought this was a 6.0 when I got it, and I thought I was only able to get it up to a 7.0. There are just defects on this book. You know, this was not a very well cared for collection of books, except for number 1 was in pretty decent shape. Number 1 was the whole reason I bought this group of books. Paid about 75 bucks for, if you average out what I paid for the whole group. So just getting a decent grade on the Zelda is going to more than pay for what I paid for all of these books. So if I can just recoup a little bit on some of these books, if I don't keep them, so I should do very well on these books no matter what happens, unless these grades come in like crazy low. But let's see. We'll find out. So on Zelda 5, I thought it was a 6.0. Thought I could get it to a 7.0. Let's see what happened. That is amazing. What? Let me make my notes. I'm checking my notes because I can't. There's no way this is. Really? I don't know, guys. Maybe this is just. Maybe they're very forgiving in grading these books. Can you look at that spine? They are very heavy spine ticks. I mean, I'm talking moderate, at least moderate spine ticks on this book. And I'm trying to remember what else was going on with this thing that I thought it couldn't get any better than that. But yeah, 9.2. What? I don't know. You can see there's some damage to the top of the book a little bit there. Not too bad. I don't know. I'm trying to get it at an angle here. Yeah, there's like heavy bending right here. Let me see if I can get it in the light. It may not show up. You'll just have to, well, maybe you can see it a little bit right there. You can see kind of this bend across right here. I was not able to get that out. This was a very severe tick here. And on this thicker paper, it's virtually impossible. You can clean it up, make it look better with some heat, but there's not much else you can do. So I don't know about this 9.2. This book looks vastly better than this book, but it's two different books. This one I'm questioning. I'm not sure about this 9.2, but we'll take it. I mean, whatever, right? They're the professionals, right? Graders. So let's move on. Number 4. So yeah, I don't even know what to think going forward. I mean, what are we going to get, a 9.8 on the one I thought was an 8.0? I don't know. So this is a Zelda number 4. Very, very cool covers, by the way. Every single one of these are awesome. If you're a fan of Nintendo and you played these games back in the day, these are awesome covers. Really, really, really like this one. Action scene. So, yeah. So number 4. And these aren't keys or anything like that. I mean, reprint Super Mario on the Mario, but I don't think any of these are any kind of key. They're just cool books. They're nostalgia, you know. It says Nintendo right here. Official Nintendo stuff. So number 4, I thought was a 5.5 when I got it, but I thought I was able to get this one up to an 8.0. So I'm not sure exactly why I thought it was a 5.5. There's another heavy tick here. Usually when I go that low, yeah, there's a corner crease here. It probably was just heavily bent through the pages, usually when I go that low and I can get it up to an 8.0. So it probably was bent, and I was probably able to get most of that out. That's why I thought I could maybe get an 8.0 on this. So let's see what happened. 8.5. Now this is a nicer looking book than the 9.2 we just got. You know, maybe this crease on the back caps it at 8.5. Who knows? So yeah, we'll definitely take an 8.5. That's 0.5 better than what we were hoping for. So very, very cool book. Love this Zelda cover. Okay, so we got a couple left. We got Zelda number 2. Now this book, I thought it was a 7.0 when I got it. And I honestly have no clue what the grade could be on this. I really have no clue, because there's this spot right here. And it almost looked like it could be like a production thing, but I just don't know. It's like a crinkle, and there's a little piece of the cover, like, not discolored, but maybe almost scratched. I don't even know what to call that right there, but you can see that little white spot right there. It looks kind of like a tape pull, but I don't think it's a tape pull. It's got some bending there as well. It's almost like it was printed in a weird... I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. So I have no clue on this book, but this book is beautiful otherwise. This could be 9.6 or 9.8 material if it wasn't for that, and I just don't know how they'll treat that. If it's a common flaw in this book, maybe it could get a high grade, but... I mean, if I was to grade it here without knowing anything else, I would probably give this 8.0, 8.5 cap. But I have no clue. I mean, so let's just go ahead and look. What does CGC think? Holy cow. Okay. It's got to be some kind of production thing. But this book is gorgeous otherwise. It had one of the cleaner spines. There's like not much going on there. Very pretty book. Yeah, this is a nice looking book. I mean, it's very hard to see. If you just hold this book up, it's not really catching your eye that much. I don't think that's something they could miss grading it, because it's pretty obvious. So, yeah, that's way higher than I was expecting, but we'll take another high grade. 9.6 is pretty cool. So, yeah, very, very happy to get that high of a grade on that book. That's really cool. So the last one, but not least, and this actually is the nicest I thought of a whole bunch. So what is this, a 10.0? I have no idea. So I thought this one was an 8.5 when I got it. And this is the whole reason I bought these books, was this one looks so nice. It wasn't quite as nice as I was hoping, as it looked online, but when I got it, it was an 8.5, but I only thought I was able to get it to a 9.0 or a 9.2. And I already have a 9.6, so I'm happy no matter what this grade is. I'm not looking. I mean, the only thing I would like to get is a 9.8, but that's going to be very, very hard to do, I think, on this book. So, yeah, once again, thinking we maybe can get a 9.0 or 9.2. Let's see what CGC did. We got the 9.2, and this is the only one, I think, in this whole batch, except for the Mario, that we actually got the grade we expected. So, very happy to get a 9.2 white pages on Legend of Zelda number 1, our second copy of this. This was definitely a much nicer copy. They got the grade right on this one, I think. This one had that one little spot on it right there from the shipping damage the guy said, or that was a 9.8, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, very Nintendo-oriented unboxing. And yeah, learned a lot from the submission. There were a few surprises, but pretty, not really. I mean, I don't really know that much about this type of paper, but I'm learning. And we'll try to get better in case we encounter and pick up any more of these books in the future. So I've got a whole bunch of books at CGC right now. I think I've got something like 35 books there. So I usually send them in 5 or 10 at a time. So I should have lots of unboxings coming up. So I look forward to doing this again. So on to the next.